Broadcasting down in the bayou, it's Mark Out Mania, a podcast featuring two average Joe wrestling fans talking about the business they love and so much more. And now, here's Ryan Keith and Patrick Fry.
And welcome to episode 8 of Mark Out Mania. Ryan Keith and Patrick Fry here with you. What's up, Patrick?
Not too much, Ryan. Just got done with the Christmas holidays, getting ready for the New Year's holidays, so we are smack dab in the middle of the holidays here. I had a nice Christmas with the family. How was your holidays?
Man, it was great. Let me ask you this, though, because I've seen you drinking eggnog leading up to Christmas. Did you drink eggnog on Christmas?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That was that should be a rhetorical question. Absolutely. And it was actually homemade eggnog. My uncle has some homemade eggnog and
little hooch in it?
No alcohol or anything like that. I don't mix alcohol with my eggnog for some reason. A lot of people do that, but I'm not one of those people. I enjoy alcohol and I enjoy eggnog, but them mixed together, sort of like people do ketchup and eggs together.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know. They should be, in my opinion, should be separate. Same thing applies with eggnog and alcohol.
One of my favorite YouTubers, Brad Bishop, on his Facebook page, I finally put bourbon in my eggnog. And it did exactly what I thought it would do. It ruined my eggnog!
Yeah, exactly. If I put some alcohol in my eggnog, to me, it would just ruin it. And some people put nutmeg in eggnog, too. And I'm just like, give me the eggnog, give me the plain old eggnog, and I'm set.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and run down the show.
Today's episode number 8, of course. We're going to do a little Raw recap. Got some new tag team champions. Big name entered the Women's Royal Rumble. SmackDown recap. A new tournament for one of the titles is up for grabs. Also, the main event of SmackDown was very interesting as well, and a couple of more entrants from the SmackDown side in the Men's Royal Rumble. We're also going to preview, kind of give you guys a little promo. I got not really much a promo, but talk about the Wrestle Kingdom show we have coming up next week with Brinkman. Also, the Ambrose injury, a really tough injury there for Dean Ambrose. Also go over the results of our XFL poll that we had. And then the rumor mill, of course. I don't really have much in the rumor mill, but you have a couple of juicy things in the rumor mill. And then we're going to give our year-end awards. We're going to give our year-end awards for Match of the Year, Wrestler of the Year, Newcomer of the Year. Now, I'm going to say it now because some people are going to I'm looking at my answer right now, and some people may give me some flack because he's not necessarily a newcomer. What I mean by newcomer, like whether you come from NXT to the main roster or some, to NXT or to wherever, like NXT to the main roster is, to me, like if you came to the main roster just this year, you're a newcomer in my opinion. At least on the main roster, you obviously are. So just that might give my answer away, but just saying for anybody who's gonna hear my answer later, no, he's not a newcomer. Well, in some retrospect, he is a newcomer, so just clearing that up. Also, the Feud of the Year, the Women's Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, and the Return of the Year. So we're going to go over that towards the end of the show. It's our year-end awards, our final show of 2017.
That's right. And Mark Out Nation, you can find us on the internet at MarkOutMania.com. Now, the great thing about our website, it is your central hub. It gets you to Twitter. It gets you to Facebook. It gets you to every platform that our podcast is on. YouTube, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and on and on and on. That is where you go. Also, we got some really cool sponsors on our website. And the great thing about that is a purchase that you would normally make, if you hit the banner ad at our website, Mark Out Mania gets, it's not a big payout, but Mark Out Mania will get a little payout from that company. And we're an affiliate of Bambox, and I wanted to talk to you real quick about Bambox. Now, if you love sci-fi movies, if you love horror movies, if you love comics, you know these subscription boxes that I'm talking about. Obviously, the big one is Loot Crate, but we went with Bambox because Bambox has tons of original stuff that nobody else gets, and they're absolutely amazing, and the guys that run it are so cool. So if you go to our website right now, you're going to see the banner at the front page of MarkOutMania.com. Hit Bambox, check it out. If you want to subscribe to their service, of course, Mark Out Mania will get a little kickback from that, and we would surely appreciate it.
I'm going to have to give me one of those BAM boxes. I see I'm looking, you have the website up right here, a BAM original and a BAM horror.
Right.
I got some horror fans out there, so definitely want to go check out that box. And What can I expect in the box? Well, look, it says it right there, too. That's a lot of stuff in one box. So
yeah, fan art, collectibles, comics, celebrity autographs, pins, T-shirts, posters.
I see a Batman logo up there. I saw, that kind of got my attention. I'm a fan of the Dark Knight, so let me get some Batman stuff maybe possibly. So that would be cool, too. Yeah, it looks like a lot of stuff in that box, so go check it out. All right, so we're going to go ahead and talk about Raw now.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Monday Night Raw, just quickly going over the results. Of course, John Cena returned and had an interesting little segment with Elias. And Elias, WWE now stands for Walk with Elias, by the way, just saying. But that was really clever on Elias's part. I give him that. John Cena beat Elias, and it was a 16-minute match. Hideo Itami, he defeated the Brian Kendrick. Absolution, they defeated Bayley, Mickie James, and Sasha Banks. Kane defeated Heath Slater. Finn Balor defeated Kurt Hawkins. Akira Tozawa, Cedric Alexander, and Mustafa Ali defeated Arya Davari, Drew Gulak, and Enzo Amore in a Miracle on 34th Street match. Samoa Joe defeated Roman Reigns by disqualification in the Intercontinental Championship match. Braun Strowman defeated Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel in 60 seconds. And Jason Jordan, Seth Rollins defeated Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And then Braun Strowman, this was the dark match. Braun Strowman defeated Kane in a last man standing match. So that was your results for Monday Night Raw. The big story, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were fixing to go to SmackDown.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah, let's stick with Raw. But I got some comments about two of the matches.
Yeah, so the big story was obviously the changing of the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. Of course, about a year ago or so, Sheamus and Cesaro was about as weird of a pairing as Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins. And, of course, now with the Ambrose injury, which they expect him to be out for 9 months. I mean, that's crazy. If he's out from 9 months to the day, 2 days ago when they reported it, I mean, he's going to be out until after SummerSlam. So the Lunatic Fringe is going to be out for a little while. Roman Reigns, of course, is going to have his storyline probably with Brock Lesnar heading into Mania. So now the Shield, well, so much for the Shield, coming back and wreaking havoc on WWE, because Ambrose's injury now kind of throws that off the tracks a little bit. But Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan, I mean, what an unlikely duo. It was a great match. And I've been saying Jason Jordan's in-ring ability is phenomenal. I think he just got, it was almost like career suicide trying to be Kurt Angle's illegitimate, well, not illegitimate son, but his son that now comes back 20-something years later to reunite with Kurt Angle. That was just not a smart storyline, in my opinion. You could have had Jason Jordan come in here, just be Jason Jordan, and his in-ring ability is really, really good. And now, him and Seth Rollins are going to be a very interesting tag team going forward.
Yeah, they're really reaching on this Jason Jordan thing. I mean, he's got a great look. He's a good-looking dude. He's really muscular. He's got great in-ring ability. But, I mean, number one, the Shield better rise from the ashes like a phoenix whenever Dean Ambrose comes back, or I'm going to be ticked.
I agree.
But this whole Jason Jordan thing, obviously what they're trying to do, they're trying to get him to steal some of the Shield's shine. Hopefully, what happened with Roman when the Shield got back together, obviously he started getting more cheers and whatnot. I'm pretty sure they're hoping that's going to happen with Jason Jordan. Yeah,
maybe so. And they have this, I think they have this philosophy that, okay, let's team him up with another face to get him over. Because I think they tried to initially do that with Roman Reigns. They tried to, whenever Rollins was still not, Dean and Rollins were not really still friends before the Shield got back together, they tried putting Roman with Dean, because Roman and Dean were always on each other's side. They never turned on each other, so they tried to do that for a little bit. It didn't work, and now you get the whole band back together, and it seems like it's working. So now you got, obviously, Ambrose is hurt. Reigns is about to go do a little singles run here for a little bit, kind of do his own thing. He's going to be more than likely the headliner at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar, I have a feeling, but now you got what you going to do with Rollins? Well, hey, look, Jason Jordan's, and lately we've been putting unusual teams together, so why not Rollins and Jason Jordan? And they surprisingly to me, won the tag team titles on Raw, and now, let's see what they do. Let's see where they take this tag team. Because right now, in my opinion, the Raw tag team division is behind the SmackDown tag team division. And, lately it's been Rollins and Ambrose, Sheamus and Cesaro. All the other tag teams on Raw haven't really been in the spotlight. So now you got Rollins and Jason Jordan. So try and get them to go up against some other tag teams. They got the Club. You got the Revival now that's back. Yeah. I'm really anxious to see if the Revival can hop into this tag team championship picture.
Have you seen the videos of Cody Rhodes saying F the Revival?
I don't think I have.
Oh, my
I may
goodness.
have. I can't remember.
I didn't post it to MarkOutMania because it's pretty foul. But it's at different points where you don't even think it's coming. Like he's at this photo shoot, and they gave him his lines. He's like, okay, I got it. And he turns around to the camera and he points out, he's like, F the Revival. And the guy's like, that's not your lines, Cody. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And
I think I have.
They do it
that.
again. He turns around and he says it again. And then when he won like this championship from ROH, everybody's screaming. And he goes to the camera and he yells, F the Revival. I wonder what that's all about.
I don't know, but apparently there's no love lost for the Revival from Cody Rhodes. Another big thing that happened on Raw, Asuka, I think the first woman to enter the Women's Royal Rumble match. And now I was looking at some women's odds. They had Ronda Rousey. I forgot where it was. It was on some website. I don't think they actually gave me the source, but Ronda Rousey was the favorite.
Yeah.
Like minus 110 or something like that. And then I think Asuka was up there, maybe the second or third favorite. They had Sasha Banks up there. Nia Jax was up there as well. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, pretty much every woman on the main roster is going to be in this Royal Rumble.
Right.
But, an unusual turn now with Paige, because Paige got hurt at a house show.
Yes.
Now, she's a big name, in my opinion. If she's in the Royal Rumble, I could see her winning it, honestly, because Paige was the girl the night after WrestleMania back in 2014, I think, back after WrestleMania 30, I think it was. The night after, made her debut and beat AJ Lee for the women's, or at the time, the Divas Championship. So,
I miss AJ Lee.
I do miss AJ Lee, but CM Punk is got his hands all over that. But Paige, she made an impact night one on the main roster, and she's made an impact ever since then, both in the ring and outside the ring. And she's back now after over a 1 year, injury that kept her out for over a year, and she's starting this new, team Absolution with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. So I don't know. It would have been nice. I was hoping somewhere down the line we'd see a Paige versus an Asuka, maybe somewhere. That would be really cool. And Paige, in my opinion, was going to make a nice run in this Women's Royal Rumble. Hopefully, we don't know the extent of her injury. It doesn't look good, but hopefully it's not that bad and she's back for the Women's Royal Rumble, because it just, when you say, because as of right now, we think there's only 30 women in the Royal Rumble. There's 30 women, I say only. There's 30 women in the Royal Rumble. They don't have 30 women on their main roster. I don't think they have 30 women between the main rosters and the NXT roster. They might be close. They're going to have to bring a couple of others in. Now if Paige is out, you got to find another one. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they book as far as if Paige can't go, where they're going to go to get another woman to be in this match.
Now, I did see an interesting tweet. Now, so apparently what happened was Sasha Banks kicked her in her head. And she was on the mat for a while. She did get up under her own power and walk out, but she was holding her neck and crying while she was walking out. And then the crowd started chanting, "Way to go, Sasha!" But Mick Foley tweeted that night, and he said he's happy to hear that she's doing okay. So the doctors felt good enough about it. They let her go back with the other stars back to the hotel after the show.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because it's still a month. It's exactly a month to the day, the Royal Rumble.
Right. So. And if it's a concussion, obviously WWE has a very, what's the word that I'm looking for? Cautious,
approach
concussion protocol.
Obviously, and still not letting Daniel Bryan wrestle, but we all know that story.
And there was a video of him running the ropes in one of those house matches.
Yeah, I'm not. As far as running the ropes,
he looked good.
He's always going to look good.
He's so fast.
Because there's nothing physically wrong with him. They just won't let him wrestle because of his history of concussions. Had he not had a history of concussions, honestly, they would probably let him wrestle. But they just don't want to risk him getting another concussion or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but he's perfectly healthy. That dude could go wrestle a match right now. He can go wrestle AJ Styles right now, and I would change out the match of the year I got before it even happened and put AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan as match of next year. That's for sure. So hopefully, WWE eventually comes to their senses. Obviously, we've been ranting or raving about it. Everything since we started the podcast, I think about how Daniel Bryan needs to be wrestling, and it looks like maybe a match with Shane McMahon at WrestleMania could happen. So we'll see. So
now let me ask you this about Raw, because I didn't see Raw. I saw some steals and some fan videos. Did Elias do the shh and touch like John Cena's lips with his finger?
Yes, he did. Oh, he absolutely did. Yep.
That looked hilarious.
They had mixed people. They were saying they had mixed reviews of that segment. I thought it was an okay segment. They said there was a bunch of people in the back that loved it, and there was a bunch of people that just hated it, couldn't stand it. And I don't know. I think Elias is going in the right direction. I mean, as far as getting some heat, man, he's getting some heat.
Well, he looks just like Seth Rollins.
He's basically a more jacked up version of a more jacked up, more homeless looking version of Seth Rollins. More homeless looking version of Seth Rollins. But honestly, I would love to see what he's got against a John Cena.
Yeah.
That would be, and they wrestled obviously a 16-minute match on Monday Night Raw, but I would love to see a pay-per-view match between him and a John Cena, or because I think he has the potential to be a great wrestler as well. So
now, when Seth and Jason went against the Bar, was that in a cage?
No, that was just a straight up.
So that was match. One of their house shows where it was a cage, apparently.
Yeah, that was probably at Madison Square Garden.
Okay, yeah. That cage that they're using, that cage is going to kill somebody, man. Because I saw a video, Seth climbed it to the top and full body pressed the two guys from the Bar.
Yeah.
But that cage, oh my God. It's the same cage that AJ Styles climbed up, and I thought it was going to kill him.
Yeah, well, it's
so rickety.
Risky. Yeah, it is. But
I don't know.
Man, you think they cut out that firework budget, put it on some better cages or something. Yeah,
buy
like
some
that.
zip ties or something. Jeez.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's pretty much what's been happening on Raw. The big things that happened on Raw. Also, Woken Matt Hardy made his actual live in-person debut in WWE by attacking Bray Wyatt. He also debuted a new theme song at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
So I think that's the theme song he had when he was in TNA. Is that correct? I don't know.
It sounds close to it. And in fact, you can watch that video at our Facebook page.
Yeah,
search MarkOutMania.
Go follow us on Facebook. The one thing is I'm glad they're allowing him to use the theme song. The problem is I'm watching the video, and it's like everybody's theme song these days, like, kind of get a little hyped to all the theme songs. That does not get me hyped up, and I don't know. It just to me that theme song, it's like it almost seemed like the crowd was a little more dead than they should have been when he came out, when that song hit. I mean, it's just some piano. It's just a piano, and I don't know. That's just me. It just like when he came out, like I was because at first I hadn't recognized it at first, and then I saw him come out, and I was like, oh, that's his. I guess they're going to use that theme song. So. But it's just like the crowd seemed kind of, and that was in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
that he debuted the theme song.
Yeah,
but it just seemed like they were kind of a little more dead than usual in there. So that kind of
right because like you're saying, most theme songs have like a build.
Yeah,
and when a guy is fixing to come out.
Like when Bobby Roode's theme song hits, I'm doing backflips in the living room like. Glorious, and I'm getting all jacked up and everything. That's a lot of people's theme songs, like Nakamura's, Samoa Joe's. I love even the Shield, Seth Rollins, even Kurt Angle's I could jam to a little bit. So, but this new Woken Matt Hardy theme, I'm glad. I don't know. I wish they could put a little more. CFOs, the people that make the theme songs, like put a little more. Put a little more pep into it, I guess you could say in a way. So that would be kind of cool.
Put an 808 on it.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts on the Matt Hardy's new theme song. But that's what's going on Raw. SmackDown. Let me go over the SmackDown results here real quick. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin defeated Aiden English and Rusev and Big E and Xavier Woods in a triple threat tag match. The Bludgeon Brothers, they defeated Breezango. Ruby Riott defeated Naomi. The two matches in the U.S. title tournament, Bobby Roode defeated Baron Corbin, and Jinder Mahal defeated Ty Dillinger. And in the main event, Kevin Owens actually pinned AJ Styles.
Wow!
And this is my takeaway from SmackDown, at least this week. The U.S. title tournament, I'm interested to see where they're going to go with that because just out of nowhere, like Ziggler just vacated the title.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Ziggler in this storyline. I really don't know. It's really confusing me. But if they're smart, you got to give this title to Bobby Roode.
You know it.
It's going to be this is what it should be. It should be Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal for the U.S. Championship. You got the perfect heel to have there for the U.S. Championship, the guy who's from India. And, of course, you got Bobby Roode, which could be the next big thing on SmackDown next to Shinsuke Nakamura. But,
Yeah.
you kind of, and like, we talked about it, you kind of dumped on him at Survivor Series. He didn't really look that as good as he should have.
Yeah.
But now you have a chance for him to run the table. On the other side of he's going to await the winner of Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder, which honestly, I hope it's Ryder. Because I like me some Zack Ryder, and I don't mind Mojo Rawley. I've liked Mojo Rawley ever since he pulled them 3 girls at the Lake Charles live show out of the front row. But I love me some Zack Ryder too. Zack Ryder's been there much longer, and Mojo Rawley's one of those guys. If Vince revives the XFL, Mojo go apply for that instead. So I think that's where you probably need to be. And then on the other side, you have obviously Jinder Mahal. He's awaiting the winner of Xavier Woods and Aiden English. That is the most random matchup for the U.S. title tournament. It's I don't know. I don't know where they're
so uninspiring.
Yeah, like you could even put a Shinsuke Nakamura in this tournament. I mean, I would have been okay with a Nakamura versus Bobby Roode U.S. Championship match, honestly, in my opinion. But that's just me. And I think what's going to happen is Jinder's going to beat probably Xavier, I guess, and then Roode's going to beat Rawley, and there's going to be Roode versus Mahal at the Royal Rumble. That title match will be at the Royal Rumble as well. What do you think about that?
Number one, why aren't they pushing Rusev? This guy is more over.
A lot of people on Reddit were saying that. Instead of Aiden English, it should have been Rusev.
Exactly. Rusev is so hot right now. And it's like, maybe not in their eyes.
And so is
Just
his wife.
look at the internet, bro. Rusev is one of your hottest wrestlers right now.
And so is his wife.
This Rusev Day thing is like wildfire.
It really is. And, Brinkman tweeted out, I think it was today or yesterday, it's not... He was saying how WWE doesn't come out with shirts very often that he has to have, but they came out with a Happy Rusev Day shirt, and he has to have it. So I don't know what it is about this whole Rusev Day thing. I mean, I'm glad it's catching on and stuff, but talk about the weirdest things just catch on with the fans sometimes here in WWE. It's really, really interesting. But, yeah, it's crazy to think how over he is.
Yeah, and then with the whole Ziggler thing, here's my take on it. Number one, okay, if you're management and you knew he wanted a break, why did he go over in the match? On the flip coin, if you're Ziggler and you know they're giving you the strap, why wouldn't you tell him, look, man, I can't do it anymore. I got to take a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not healthy in my head. I'm not healthy in my body. I need a few months. I can't do this right now. And they could have just gave the belt to Bobby Roode then.
Exactly. But I don't know what their thinking is. I don't know unless they have a thing for Ziggler to come back and have this great run taking back the title. I don't know what they're going to do. It's really confusing me, I tell you what.
And then another cool thing I saw on Twitter, Aiden English is married to Eddie Guerrero's daughter.
Really?
Yeah. She took a picture of eating some pizza at the event.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's a small world right there, folks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, SmackDown, and then... the U.S. title tournament's going on. Styles versus Owens was the main event, and Kevin Owens got a pinfall victory on AJ Styles, and it was a roll-up pin. And you have Zayn, and this, I was about to hop into this. When Jinder had the WWE Championship, he had the Singh brothers always interfering and stuff. I have a feeling now that maybe they could go with this Owens-Styles feud here for a little bit for the WWE Championship. And as the heel, Owens, you have Zayn always, that Styles you have to worry about. And Zayn could easily help Owens win the WWE Championship. It would be Owens, I think, first WWE Championship because he was the Universal Champion for a little while, but it would be his first actual WWE Championship. I think this would be a really great feud. This could be a great championship match to have at the Royal Rumble. Owens versus Styles. Of course, Styles and Cena tore the house down in San Antonio with the Rumble last year, one of the top matches of the year, and you have to wait and see. Maybe that might be one of our matches of the year, but stick around to find out. But, Styles and Owens, I would love to see this feud going forward, honestly. So, and it's kind of got a little fire in it now that Owens pinned AJ, and then you had, Zayn on the side of the ring, interfering, all this other stuff. Shane comes down, says, all right, you got to go. And then while that commotion's going on, Owens rolls up AJ, and 1, 2, 3, boom. Owens gets a pinfall victory over the champ. So I think that will lead to a WWE championship match between Owens and Styles at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, hey, that would be pretty good because Owens, even though he's a big dude, he can run like a small guy.
Oh, absolutely.
He can run with an AJ Styles. That would be a great, fast-paced, beat-em-up match.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That would be a tremendous matchup. I mean, obviously, Owens came in a couple of years ago and right off the bat was, facing John Cena, putting on some great matches.
Triple H is really high on KO, so you know it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen at the Royal Rumble, I believe. It hasn't been made official yet, but it could happen. But what has been made official, Orton and Nakamura have entered the Royal Rumble, and my early pick, and I reserve the right to change this pick, is Shinsuke Nakamura to win the Royal Rumble because I think they could have Shinsuke win it. You have AJ, keep the title through to WrestleMania. You have Nakamura and AJ for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. That's what I think they should do. Rumors have it they might go another direction. They might let somebody else get the strap. Somebody was saying, I thought somebody said somewhere that Zayn was going to get the strap and defend it against John Cena at WrestleMania. I mean, look, I think a Zayn-Cena match would also be a very good match because Zayn, look, they haven't let Zayn do what he's capable of doing, at least not on the main roster yet. That dude is capable of some tremendous things inside the ring, and if he gets the strap, I wouldn't be upset. I mean, I think he's earned it, and he will show you why he's earned it whenever he gets the chance to get the belt and run with it and put on some great matches. Maybe at a WrestleMania.
You see, I think what holds him back is his look. He's a pasty fire crotch.
Not a big dude,
and obviously his in-ring talent is amazing, but he just doesn't have the look that McMahon likes.
No.
McMahon likes the big, muscular dudes.
He likes the big John Cena look.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, that's what's going on SmackDown. Orton and Nakamura into the Royal Rumble. Now, you have some Royal Rumble odds,
Yes, a British gambling company called Sky Bet have released their gambling odds on who will win the Royal Rumble. So, at number 9, 14-1, Finn Balor.
I could see it.
Number 8, Samoa Joe, 12-1. With 10-1 odds at number 7, Braun Strowman. That seems kind of low.
Yeah, I was about to say I would put some money on Strowman, but I mean, who knows? We'll see. But Strowman's in the Universal Championship match, so is he going to be in the Rumble match? He might walk out of the Royal Rumble as the Universal Champion for all I know, but I think that might be why he's so low.
Yeah. Number 6, Seth Rollins, 8-1 odds. Bobby Roode at number 5, 8-1 odds.
Oh, that's some high odds for Bobby Roode.
Number 4, AJ Styles, 4-1 odds.
He probably won't even be in the Rumble match, but okay.
Number 3, Shinsuke Nakamura, 3-1 odds.
That's my early pick. Reserve the right to change.
Number 2, Roman Reigns, 3-1 odds.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
And according to Sky Bet, with their Royal Rumble odds, with 5-2 odds to win the Royal Rumble,
John Cena.
Yeah.
I saw something earlier that John Cena was the favorite, so I don't know. That's what I was saying about John Cena going on to face Sami Zayn as the champ. So, but Zayn's, as of right now, Zayn is not scheduled to fight for the title, at least not until the Royal Rumble. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. The Royal Rumble is going to be obviously a big turning point into WrestleMania season. So that'll be interesting. So those are the odds, at least for the Royal Rumble match, which is coming up in January. Also coming up in January, of course, Wrestle Kingdom 12, January the 4th. I think it starts at 1 a.m. Central Local Time here. Oh, Brinkman and them are going to be up watching it live, and I might go join them. I don't know yet. I have not decided. I have a week to do so. But, man, I'm going to need a lot of coffee for that.
If you go, you need to Facebook Live a little bit of it on Markout's page.
I might do that because I don't know who on our page will be up at 1 a.m. on January the 4th. But
the video lives on forever.
Yeah, we'll live on forever. So, and now, granted, I will put that there will be spoilers if you're waking up and you don't want to find out what happened yet. You still want to watch it. Don't watch our Facebook Live video because there probably will be spoilers. So, but next Tuesday, January 2nd, Brink will be in the studio with us, and we're going to be talking nothing but Wrestle Kingdom. We have the full card, and also, if you can't wait till that show, go to our website, MarkOutMania. Brinkman has his Wrestle Kingdom preview article up. Be sure to go read it. That is the best preview article you're going to get probably from anybody, because if there's anybody I know that knows New Japan Pro Wrestling, it is Brinkman. Go and check out his preview article. It's very thorough. He gives his predictions, and I'm not saying he's always right, but he's certainly going to be a lot more right than if I predicted or me or Ryan predicted. So certainly go and check out the article right now at MarkOutMania.com, or also on our Facebook and Twitter pages as well. You can find them on there as well.
Right, just click the spoiler alert.
Absolutely. The Spoiler Alert blog. It does not give spoilers, by the way. Don't get fooled. You see Spoiler Alert blog, it does not give spoiler alerts. It's just, that's what we call it because it's a cool name.
Should we get with Brink about a name change?
Nah. I think we'll be all right. Unless if he wants to change it.
Like Backstage with Brink or something like that.
If he wants to change it, I'm fine with it. And if we could discuss that.
Yes.
So we could figure it out. All right.
What's next?
All right. So we talked a little bit about the Ambrose injury. I was going to talk more about that, but I think we kind of covered it. He's going to be out for 9 months.
Dang it.
What's going to happen with the Shield now, or at least what's going to happen with the other two guys that are still wrestling? Obviously, Roman's going to go. He has the Intercontinental title right now. Rollins is tag champs now with Jason Jordan. What's going to happen there? I don't know, but we know that Rollins will be out for 9 months, which means and if he comes back early, maybe he comes back for SummerSlam. Who knows? But right now, we expect Ambrose to be out for a little while, so that's kind of unfortunate that the Lunatic Fringe won't be around, but it is what it is. So, with that being said, let's jump into the rumor mill.
Okay, most definitely.
I don't have anything in the rumor mill, but
No, I thought we were going to do the Facebook poll first.
Well, we could jump into that because the last thing we're going to talk about that kind of links it.
Okay,
so,
I got you. Okay.
So go ahead and tell us what you got in the rumor mill.
Yeah, definitely. So, like you were saying, and I saw this as well, that Ronda Rousey is currently favored to win the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match, but she's also filming a movie called Mile 22 through February. And it's being filmed in Atlanta and I don't even know how you say this country. Bogota?
Yeah, Bogota.
Mm-hmm. So is she going to take time from her filming schedule to come down?
I don't believe
Or is this a telltale sign that she's not going to be in the Rumble?
I said last week when we had our poll that I didn't think she was going to be in it. I don't think she will be. She will be at WrestleMania, though, one way, shape, or form. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet the house right now that she will be at WrestleMania. Will not take part in the Women's Royal Rumble unless WWE gets desperate. Like we talk about that Paige injury. If they get desperate, if they fork over enough money, they'll fly Ronda Rousey from wherever she's filming that thing for that night and say, all right, go in there, hang in for a little while, or she could come in as the 29th, 30th entrant or whatever, come in late and be one of the final 4 or final 2.
Right.
And we'll see what happens. I don't think she's going to be in the Rumble, but if WWE does get desperate, they could go after her, in my opinion.
Also coming out the rumor mill, big news for wrestling gamer fans.
I know Brink is going to be excited for this one, and I'm even kind of excited for this one, too, because I am a gamer. I have an Xbox One. I've gotten all the most recent WWE 2K games, and I love playing them, so go ahead.
So the word is that New Japan Pro Wrestling may have a video game in the works. And the story behind this, in 2006 and 2007, Ukes, the same people that developed the WWE 2K series, released a Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Kingdom 2 video game series for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 2. Those games also featured New Japan Pro Wrestling, but no, I said that wrong. They featured the stars of New Japan Pro Wrestling, but also included All Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah guys as well. So, be interesting to see if that's going to come to fruition, because that would be an amazing game, I think.
Absolutely, definitely, especially if it's the same guys that are making these 2K games. These 2K games are really good, too, and, you know what they're going to do? They'll make the game, and then 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 they'll make the game, and it'll be very similar to a WWE game, which means, hey, people can go in there and probably create WWE superstars and have them wrestle against New Japan superstars. And people do that already with WWE 2K18. You can go on the thing and find, like a Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, a Cody, a Naito, Okada, and you could download those guys and you could play them. I mean, granted, they don't have the music and stuff like that, but you still play with them. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little fantasy scenario. If you could put Okada in the ring with an AJ Styles, or put Omega in there with AJ Styles or something like that on those 2K games. So it'd be really fun to have a 2K game. I mean, a New Japan game, similar to WWE 2K18 or something like that.
Right. And then a lot of rumors swirling around Vincent K. McMahon and his new company. What's it called? Alpha
Entertainment.
Alpha Entertainment. Now, last week we devoted a lot of time to the XFL because we're both XFL marks. Mm-hmm. We want to see the XFL. So we did a Facebook poll. Are you excited about the possible return of the XFL? Now, at the very beginning, yes was totally dominant.
I was one of the first ones to vote, I believe. I put definitely yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, and then I shared it on a bunch of wrestling groups that I'm in, and we got a lot of votes. But as it stands right now, 61% say no, 39% say yes. I got to say, I'm not digging this.
I'm not really digging it either, but you talk about Vince now possibly buying the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
Does that mean he's not going to revive the XFL?
I would imagine not.
But how does that explain the fact that they went to trademark the XFL and all that other stuff? So
yeah,
that's a very good rumor. Is Vince going to buy the Carolina Panthers? Is he going to revive the XFL? I don't know. But whatever it is, he's got $100 million to do something. I mean, what would it cost to buy the Carolina Panthers, you think?
Golly. I have no idea. It'd probably be $500 million, maybe even more.
So that right there tells you if he only has like $105 million in Alpha Entertainment right now, based on the stock that he sold, that wouldn't be enough to buy the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
Now, like I said, that was just a guesstimate as far as what you would buy. So that's the thing to take into account. How much would it cost to buy the Carolina Panthers? But I don't know. We're going to see. But, some people kept saying that January 25th mark was going to be an announcement of the possible XFL return. So January 25th rolls around, which is the Friday before the Royal Rumble. I think we'll find out a lot more as far as the future of this Alpha Entertainment that Vince McMahon has started, separate, obviously, of WWE.
Now, is the only source of information coming out about McMahon possibly buying the Carolina Panthers, is that only from Jonathan Coachman?
As far as I've seen, yes, Jonathan Coachman, and that's a solid source.
Yeah,
Jonathan Coachman. Now, granted, he's resorted to doing just Periscope Live every day, but he's the coach, man, and I enjoy watching. He talks some wrestling too on there. He's doing his Periscope Live thing, which I wouldn't mind using my Periscope Live to do something like that too. He just opens it up every morning for 30 minutes, and he gets a lot of viewers. But he is the coach, and he's very well known, especially in the wrestling community. So. But as far as, am I excited for the possible return of the XFL? Hell yeah. My excitement level is going down now because of the rumor that Vince is probably going to buy the Carolina Panthers, which means obviously that certainly decreases the chance of the return of the XFL, which 61% of the people will be happy to hear that, I guess, that voted on our poll. So, yeah, that was the result of our poll. But as far as the XFL coming back, we'll see.
All right. Let's give out some Mark Out Nation shout-outs here. Let's see. We got a comment from the poll from Nicholas R. Mans. He says, I'm excited, if nothing else, for an alternative to the NFL. I hear a lot of people saying that it was so bad at first and it's going to flop again. But it's Vince. It's his big dream. He's at the end of his lifetime. Jeez. He's at the end of his lifetime. Don't give up on Vince yet, man. He's at the end of his lifetime. And those mistakes from the first go-around make it exactly what makes it for a success this time. Brad Andrews said yes, only because I want Vince to focus more on that and less on the wrestling product. Time has passed him by. And then we had another comment from Ricardo Martins, who said, I never got it. How come you call football to a sport that you play with your hands? It's more of an armored rugby, isn't it?
I suppose.
I guess he's from
but
overseas.
It's fun.
You wouldn't understand.
I don't know. I'm excited about the possibility, but like I said, my excitement's gone down now with the rumors that, the Carolina Panthers may be bought by Vince McMahon, which, like I said, obviously will mean that the XFL revival is maybe not happening, or it might get delayed. I don't know.
Right. And the thing about the XFL is if he does the XFL, he's going to do it right this time.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many mistakes made. He's going to learn from them. And the thing, I can't remember if it was Coach Mert, it was someone else who was saying that Vince, he yearns to be a success in something outside of wrestling that will legitimize his legacy as a businessman. That's why he's tried to do movies, a record label, the XFL, a pro bodybuilding league he tried at one time. This go around, he's going to do it right. And he's not going to put yahoos around him like Dick Butkus and other people like that. He's going to get real people that have done real things in big leagues that know what they're doing to surround him. He's going to make a team that's going to be a superstar team that will carry this league into the future. Maybe not as an NFL alternative, but at least a viable football league.
Absolutely. So, well, time will tell what's going to happen with Vince and the Carolina Panthers and or the XFL.
Yeah, I don't think Vince is a good fit for the Carolina Panthers.
I don't think Vince is a good fit anywhere in the NFL, especially with what he wants to do. You want to bring back the XFL, which, when you had it, basically emphasized things that the NFL now are not emphasizing at all.
Right.
Which is violence and hard hits and those cheerleaders on the sideline, shaking their and stuff like that. So the NFL ain't about that anymore, and that's why I want the XFL back, because the XFL is going to be, they call the NFL the no fun league. The XFL now is going to be the extremely fun league. So,
and the thing with Vince, and you have a franchise quarterback with diarrhea of the mouth, who doesn't have a filter, who says whatever he wants to say, and then he'll apologize later on Twitter, but. Vince would love that. He would want Cam to run promos on everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
He'd have him in his office. Cam, I love it. Maybe next time say this.
Yep. So, yeah, that's what's going on with the XFL. So,
oh, man. My Vince voice got me.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm sure. Can you imagine what he feels every day? I mean, geez. He's like, yeah, fire. Somebody's like, Jesus Christ, that hurts my throat when you say it. So, all right, with that being said, you got anything more before we head on to the year-end awards?
No.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to dive in now to our year-end awards. Obviously, it's our last show of 2017, but you won't have to wait much longer for our first show of 2018, January 2nd, the Wrestle Kingdom preview show. We're going to have Jonathan Brinkman in here, and that'll get released probably sometime Tuesday evening, so be on the lookout for that. But what me and Ryan did, we basically have a few categories here, and we'll kind of just discuss them each a little bit. We're going to give you our match of the year, our wrestler of the year, our newcomer of the year, which I did explain that earlier in the podcast. Just to be clear, because I know my answer is going to somebody's going to say something about this, my answer being a newcomer or not. We're going to talk the feud of the year, the women's wrestler of the year. We got to show them women some love, too.
You know it.
And the tag team of the year, and also the return of the year. So should we start at the bottom going up, or you want to start at the top, or?
Let's maybe wait for wrestler of the year last.
Okay, we could do that.
Yeah. It's wherever you want to start.
All right. Well, let's start at the bottom, at least the bottom of my list. The return of the year.
Yes.
Who do you have as your return of the year?
My return of the year is Cody Rhodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the reason I chose Cody is the fact that he has triple, quadruple. I mean, he's more popular now than he ever was in the WWE, and he doesn't have the WWE platform to push him, right? I mean, this guy's making waves, man. I mean, he's probably one of the most popular wrestlers in the world right now, and it's because not only does he not give a crap about anything, but now he can be totally engrossed in his own creative and be who he wants to be and make his own character. And I'm loving it, man. I mean, whether it's New Japan or Ring of Honor, this dude's money. And, and he says he's making way more than he ever made at WWE doing the independent scene.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Cody Rhodes. I was actually looking here on Reddit, and Cody Rhodes, they asked him somewhere, I don't know where it was, about his WWE return. Well, this is what Cody said, and this is a pretty good quote from Cody. I had a great run. Met my wife, made the Mania walk a bunch of times, got a chance to see Dad's last elbow, won a bunch of titles, made millions without a college education, but I'm happy where I'm at and where it's going. 2018 will be the most important year of my career. So Cody Rhodes, he had a great year with Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I'm really looking forward to see what Cody can do in 2018. But my return of the year, I was going between two different returns.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania, but late in the year they had a return or reunion, so to speak, when the Shield came back. So my return of the year is the Shield, because while I was popping and marking out when the Hardy Boys came back, when I heard the Shield was coming back, man, I was really, really excited because, the Shield returning seemed so much more far-fetched than the Hardy Boys returning, because the Hardy Boys were still together, obviously, in TNA.
Right.
And then it was really them jumping ship to WWE. The return to WWE was very shocking, but in general, the return of the Shield was just absolutely amazing. And it's kind of, now it's gotten halted a little bit. I think they only had one pay-per-view match together, as the original team, and that was at Survivor Series against the New Day. Of course, Kurt Angle filled in. And that's another one I also contemplated, too, the return of Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle was inducted into the Hall of Fame. He got named Raw GM. They had no intention of him wrestling. He wrestled at TLC, and then he wrestled at Survivor Series. So the return of Kurt Angle, too, is an honorable mention, in my opinion, for return of the year.
No, those were some great choices. I mean, I would say, the Hardy Boys would be my second. Because when they came out, I mean, I was not expecting that. And when that music first hit, I was like, holy crap. Mm-hmm. And even my son, the Hardy Boys were kind of, but he watches WWE Network, so he knew who they were, but he didn't, have the fever that everybody else had when they were so popular when we were young. But the Shield, you kind of saw the build up to it that they were trying to do. But yeah, all of those are great, man.
Absolutely. So those are our returns of the year. Let's talk about the tag team of the year. Who you got for the tag team of the year?
I got the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks. What was your reasoning behind the Young Bucks?
Man, pretty much the same thing as Cody. They've made such a name for themselves in 2017. I mean, before that, you've heard rumblings of the Young Bucks, and, they're great in the ring, great on the mic, this and that. But not till this year, and specifically towards the end of the year. Of course, they had the whole thing with the WWE that shot them in the superstardom. But, man, getting in with the Bullet Club was huge. That propelled them to the next level.
Well, riding Kenny Omega's coattail got them even.
Exactly.
Because them and Kenny Omega are the elite. So.
Exactly. So, I would be hard-pressed to say anyone else, because these guys are a household name now, and they came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Seemingly.
My tag team of the year, I would have to say, and this might not, this is strictly because these guys have wrestled so many matches this year, and these guys have held these titles for a good majority of the year, and they put on some great, great pay-per-view matches. But I got to say the Usos. The Usos, and, their new gimmick is finally coming around, the Uso Penitentiary and stuff like that. And look, their greatest moment this year wasn't even in a match. It was in that rap battle with the New Day. And all my true wrestling fans know what I'm talking about. I don't have to, the line that I still can't tell the Usos apart, by the way. I've been watching them for years, and I still can't tell them apart. I don't think anybody really can. But basically hit them with that Xavier Woods with that line about, don't go get all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods, and that was the moment. That was the diss. That's the diss of the year right there. If we had one for diss of the year, that would hands down be it. But the Usos have had a great run as the tag team champs this year. They've kind of helped, bring up this tag team division on SmackDown. I'm very, very impressed with the in-ring matches that the Usos have had this year. So the Usos are my tag team of the year.
Yeah, I got a great thing right here that I saved off of Facebook. And this guy's saying the person who becomes the new WWE Iron Man, Jimmy Uso. He's been doing WWE shows since 6/4 of 2010, and it's at 982 matches currently. If you include FCW, it's been even longer than that. He's only had gaps of 15 to 24 days off, but never more than 34 days.
It's
Beast mode.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Another reason I did see that too, and that was another little tidbit that kind of went into my decision. I said, the Usos, in my opinion, the best tag team of 2017, in my opinion. So,
and I tell you what, the back and forth between Cena and Reigns this year, Cena had some great disses as well.
Oh, Cena, yeah, Cena. But you know what? Roman Reigns is such an easy target, in my opinion. He's such an easy target, at least for a Cena. Anybody's an easy target for Cena. I mean, hell, when he buried the Miz before WrestleMania, holy smokes! And Miz is not an easy of a target as Roman Reigns is, because nobody likes. I mean, at least the fans at that time, nobody cared for Reigns, and whatever the case may be. But man, Cena, when he hit him with that drug test, that was the second best diss of the year, in my opinion, behind the "Don't go get all rated R" like your boy Xavier Woods, man. So yeah, but. That's one of your disses of the year, John Cena to Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
All right, next, let's talk about the women's wrestler of the year. Well, you know what? We'll do that. We'll do that second to last. Let's do the feud of the year.
Yes.
Who was your feud of the year?
Man, this one's still fresh. I got to go Jericho versus Omega.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's only been like a few weeks old, maybe a month old now, but oh my God, is this epic?
Yeah.
The battles that they've had, like out of the ring at press conferences, showing up at each other's, Jericho showing up at Omega matches.
Yeah.
And blindsiding him, and the blood, the guts, the passion. This feud is absolutely epic.
Yeah, and the match, in my opinion, is going to be even more epic. Everybody's talking about Naito and Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. That match is going to be great, but do not be surprised on the stage of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You got Kenny Omega, one of the best in the world, in my opinion, right now, and you got Chris Jericho, who at 47, or you think he's 47 years old.
Yeah, he's almost 50.
That dude can still go, man.
Yeah.
And even in WWE, some of his best work is the last year or two with the list, and now you're in New Japan Pro Wrestling, a platform that they're going to let these two guys do whatever they want. There are going to be no restrictions on these cats. They're going to put on a show, I tell you what, and I'm more excited, in my opinion, just because over my years, I've been a little more invested in, Chris Jericho, obviously, watching WWE all these years, and also Kenny Omega is my favorite New Japan wrestler. So that match, in my opinion, I'm looking a little more forward to that match. I do believe Naito and Okada, they're going to tear the roof off the Tokyo Dome. They're going to tear it down in the Tokyo Dome on January the 4th, no doubt about it. But as far as the match I'm looking most forward to, it's got to be Omega and Jericho.
Most definitely.
So my feud of the year is Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. These two guys, look, just put these two dudes in street fights every week. I mean, they've almost done it all. I mean, they've beaten the hell out of each other. Braun's flipped an ambulance.
Yep.
Reigns almost killed Strowman by backing an ambulance into a semi. And I mean, these dudes have had matches, and Reigns is still the only guy to pin Strowman in WWE. And that was back, I think, at Fastlane back earlier in February. So, but ever since then, these two guys, they just destroy each other. They throw each other all over the arena, and it's highly entertaining. These two dudes don't even need to cut promos on each other. Just let them get in the ring. No disqualifications, no holds barred. You got a pin or submission, and let them go at it, man. Those two, and we could see more of this in 2018. So, in my opinion, Reigns versus Strowman has been the feud of the year, in my opinion.
Most definitely. I mean, both of them are two athletic guys. I mean, Strowman, for how big he is and how muscular he is, he's still got chops. He can move like a decent sized guy. The thing that I guess pokes out in my mind the most is when people were giving them heat about the stretcher.
Oh, yeah.
When he pushed the stretcher and it was clearly faked.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they're not going to let one of their big superstars get pushed off of a ledge.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it was hilarious how people had these videos dissecting it on YouTube and stuff.
I mean, maybe it was just me, but at the time, maybe I'm gullible, but when I remember watching that live on that Raw, and it seemed, I thought he was legitimately on the stretcher. Of course, I went back and watched. I can kind of tell how they could have faked it, but at the time, I wasn't paying attention. Braun was on a tearing through the back, and I'm just, next thing you know, I see him flip the stretcher off the whatever it was at the time backstage where the semi trucks parked. But holy smokes, I mean, these two guys have just, I don't think there's been two wrestlers that have beaten the hell out of each other more this past year than Strowman and Reigns.
Yeah, and that reminds me of a time that I totally suspended disbelief. And kudos to the WWE because they had me on this one. It was back in the Attitude Era when the New Age Outlaws stuffed Mick Foley and Terry Funk into a garbage can and pushed them over the edge. I mean, I was like legitly worried for Mick and Terry. Yeah,
so, and then another feud I want to kind of just honorable mention. I think the New Day versus the Usos, that feud was a really good feud. That's, in my opinion, it goes back to the Usos being the tag team of the year. And that rap battle, man. Because I remember watching the rap battle, and I was like, man, this is probably going to be a train wreck, because I forgot who was the guy moderating it. I don't remember. Was it a Wale or something? It might have been Wale, or it was a rapper. I was moderating it. And I was like, man, this is going to be... And, the Usos had their clique. The New Day had their clique. I was like, man, this is going to be so corny. But, oh, man, did it ever just live up to the hype as maybe the segment of the year in WWE. So I want to give the Usos versus the New Day a shout-out.
Right on.
Honorable mention feud of the year, because they put on some great matches, too.
Oh, most definitely.
So let's go now to the newcomer of the year. Now, this is the one where, I'm gonna go ahead and go first. Tell me who your newcomer of the year is.
All right, my newcomer of the year is an independent wrestler. His name is Jackson Castle. Jackson Castle is an absolute beast. I don't know if I showed you the video when he came to FTW, but he'll take his opponent, which was not a small guy, and he'll curl them like 20, 30 times.
Well, damn.
And then he'll belly to back suplex them. But the guy, he brings a crowd with him everywhere. His fans are rabid. Jackson Castle shirts everywhere. He's living right now in Jacksonville, Florida, but he's wrestling all over the South. Florida, Louisiana, Texas. He's everywhere. This guy not only looks the part, he is buff. He looks tough. But he resonates with the fans. The fans love this guy. They pop when he comes out. Even the ones that have never seen him before. When he comes out, he looks like a wrestler, and he looks like he means business.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy, I don't know where his career will go, but I tell you, on whatever level it is, this guy will be a success, and he will make promoters money.
That's a good pick there. Nice little out-of-the-box pick, I guess you can say. My pick is Samoa Joe, because Samoa Joe made his main roster debut back in January when he attacked Rollins. He didn't even have a WrestleMania match, but after WrestleMania, he had that title match with Brock at Great Balls of Fire back in July. That was a really good match, and I think he got hurt. He was in the main event, obviously, at SummerSlam, which is one of the highest-rated matches of the year in WWE from Dave Meltzer. So, and where he's at now, the crowd, when he comes to that chant, Joe, he's kind of getting over with a lot of the fans, too, at least a lot of the older male fans that like Samoa Joe. So, and he puts, that dude can cut a promo.
Yes.
I think he's had a tremendous year in WWE. I expect him to have an even bigger year in 2018. So, like I said, he's been around, obviously, for a long time. But as far as him coming to the WWE main roster, he is, as far as the newcomers in the WWE main roster, in my opinion, Samoa Joe has had the best year out of anybody who started in the new roster in 2017. So that's my newcomer of the year. Let's go now to, before we do the women's wrestler, let's do the women's wrestler of the year real quick. The women's wrestler of the year, this probably won't be a shock. Who you got?
I got Asuka.
Asuka, wow, that's actually a good pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, I almost said Asuka, but she only started in October, and, she's had a couple of good matches. I mean, every match really with her is good. but she hasn't been around for the majority of the year, which is why I didn't pick her. I'm going to say Charlotte, because obviously Charlotte is the best women's wrestler right now. She's a champ. She's on SmackDown. I can't really think of, and honestly, if Emma would still be, I consider Emma, because I think Emma was a pretty good wrestler too. She was coming around. She looked strong against Asuka in her debut match on the main roster, and then they just got rid of her because of obviously the whatever was going on with her gimmick and not liking it or whatever the case may be. But she was coming around. I was really liking her. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to Charlotte, because with the year Charlotte's had, with her dad being in the hospital and everything, she's stuck around. She has a title now, and she's, obviously put on some great matches as well. So I'm going to give the Women's Wrestler of the Year to Charlotte.
Yeah, two great choices.
Now let's go to Match of the Year.
Yes.
The Match of the Year. Now, I got one. I would say it's under the radar, but there was, because I went and looked at all the highest rated matches from Dave Meltzer on the year. This one was one of the highest rated matches out of WWE. A lot of them from New Japan Pro Wrestling, but what do you have for Match of the Year?
I definitely got to go with Omega versus Okada 1.
At Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah.
And that was one of the highest rated matches.
I just remember watching that match and just my mouth is open the whole time. The stuff that these guys were doing, mainly Omega. That guy's so athletic, man.
Oh, yeah.
But the stuff that they were doing, I was just like, man, and these guys, they don't look tired. That match was so amazing. It will live on forever.
Oh, yeah, because I remember the talk. Well, after that match, because there was some talk that Kenny Omega was going to come into the Royal Rumble and come join WWE. He was hot at that time. He's still hot. He might be one of the hottest things in all of wrestling right now. But that match, I've watched that match too, and holy smokes! Those two cats put on maybe the greatest wrestling match of all time.
Yeah,
in some people's minds, I would have chose that match, but I chose another match strictly based on of when, because that right there was the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. You almost expected that match to be as good as it was, but even then, they still somehow exceeded the expectations. My match of the year was from NXT TakeOver Chicago. It was the UK Championship. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. That took place at the end of May, I think, and Tyler Bate came in as the UK champion. Pete Dunne defeated him in what was an absolutely tremendous wrestling match because it was the second match of an NXT TakeOver show of the UK Championship that had only been decided, I think, up to that point, maybe defended once, and prior to that, that's when they had the tournament. So as far as, and obviously in my opinion, the Okada Omega match, overall, probably the match of the year, but I'm going to say it's Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate strictly on the fact that their match of the platform that it took place on, not nearly as high as a Wrestle Kingdom, yet they still managed to somehow steal the show that night. It was the second match of that night, and they stole the show that night without a doubt. So Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate at NXT TakeOver Chicago back in May of this year. If you haven't watched that match, it's one of the highest rated WWE matches of the year. I think the only one that's rated higher is the SummerSlam main event, the Fatal 4-Way with Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and who was the other one I can't think of? Braun Strowman. So I got to go with Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate.
Yeah, I bet you all the boys in the back were pissed off. They were probably like, how can we follow this?
Yeah. Because that match, if anything, put that match first, I guess. But because you always want to start the show off with a very high-powered match, and that one was absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to go with Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate at NXT Chicago.
The fact that it was second, does that show that WWE could care less about
That's why I picked this match, because you put them second on an NXT TakeOver show,
defending a title,
and this NXT TakeOver show wasn't even on it wasn't on WrestleMania weekend, it wasn't on SummerSlam weekend, it wasn't Survivor. It was just its own little weekend. Which, in my opinion, if you're going to have a match like that, have it on that weekend when NXT is the main event of that weekend. So that match, in my opinion, gets match of the year. So now leads us to Wrestler of the Year. Now, obviously, a bunch of names could pop off this year as Wrestler of the Year, but tell us who you got, Ryan.
All right, so my honorable mention is Braun Strowman.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
This guy, how can you book him any different? I mean, obviously, I think he should have a title by now. Because just like you said, he's a monster of men. This guy is absolutely amazing, and he fits the bill. But my wrestler of the year is none other than the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
I could not disagree with you much more. He would be number 2 for me. I love me some AJ Styles, but my wrestler of the year is Kenny Omega because, in my opinion, this is why I have AJ Styles number 2, but I have Omega above AJ Styles simply from the fact that based on the jump, I guess, that these two guys, if you take the last 365 days of each of these guys, I think Omega has made a little more of a jump just in the last 365 days because let's face it, 365 days ago, AJ was above Kenny Omega. And Kenny Omega, in my opinion, has done a little bit more this year than AJ Styles. Not much more, but a little bit more. In my opinion, I don't think he's the best wrestler in the world. I think he's the second best wrestler in the world behind AJ Styles. But if we're talking the past 365 days, obviously the match with Okada back at Wrestle Kingdom. He had another match back in June with Okada. He won the U.S., the IWGP U.S. Championship. And now he's going to – he was so good this year, he caught the attention and was able to get Chris Jericho to come to New Japan Pro Wrestling and have a feud, which you say is the feud of the year. So for that particular reason, I got to say Kenny Omega is my wrestler of the year for 2017.
Yeah, and if you think about the steam that he has, that's way impressive because obviously the momentum is in the way of people here on mainland USA knowing more about New Japan every day. But that's only been in the last few months. This guy has made a name for himself across the pond in a little bitty country that most Americans wouldn't even give, like, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't care about New Japan Wrestling, right?
They could care less.
Yeah, exactly. And this guy has made such a name for himself that he's a household name now. Everybody knows who Kenny Omega is. Even if you don't like New Japan, you know who he is. You've probably seen his matches on YouTube. You respect the dude for his talent, for his daggum promos that are weird but amazing at the same time. Mm-hmm. And everything about him is superstar. So, yeah, that's a great choice.
I would also like to, I said Styles would be number 2. I think right behind him, I'd probably put Okada based on, because he's had one hell of a IWGP Heavyweight Championship reign. I think he's spent the whole year as an IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So that title reign for Okada has been very impressive as well. Over 500 days, I think, as champion. So he's another one I want to mention. Honorable mention is Okada from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that right there is our year end of the year awards.
Right.
So you want to go ahead and wrap this up?
Yeah, most definitely. Please be careful out there. Do not mix alcohol with fireworks. Bad.
Otherwise, you will end up like Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yes.
And I don't even know if he mixed up alcohol with fireworks, but he mixed up fireworks.
He mixed up stupid.
Yeah, but I say he mixed up stupidity with fireworks, and now half of his hand is all messed up. So, yeah, don't mix alcohol with anything. The only thing you should mix alcohol with is hitting on women. Not literally hitting on women, but, picking up women, and that's about it. And having a good time. Don't drive. Don't play with guns, obviously. Don't play with fireworks. Don't do anything stupid with, drink responsibly, obviously. We want to make sure everybody's here to listen to our Wrestle Kingdom preview podcast, which will take place January the 2nd with Jonathan Brinkman. So be sure to come back. If you want to get ready for New Japan Pro Wrestling, that is the way to do it. Come back. Be on the lookout January 2nd that evening for the Wrestle Kingdom 12 preview show with Ryan, myself, and Jonathan Brinkman. We're going to have everything you need to know for that show will be in that podcast.
Funny story right before we leave. 2 years ago, we're popping fireworks New Year's Eve at my wife's aunt's house. Bottle rocket. My son puts it in the dirt. Must have put it too far, but it worked itself out right at the end, right? Mm-hmm. And it screams into the neighbor's yard, goes right into a pine straw pile, proceeds to catch the pine straw pile on fire.
Oh, boy.
I'm like, oh, my God! So I run over there, and I proceed to do the river dance on the pile. All the while, I didn't know, but after I got it all out, I looked. the neighbors watching me through their window.
I'm sure they were going to kick out of that.
Well, I'm pretty sure at first they were like, dude, this guy's setting my yard on fire. So it was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, so there you go. A little fun with at least nobody was hurt.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. All right, guys, have a great new year. We'll see you back on January 2nd. Other than that, man, y'all be safe, shop local, and be good to one another.
Outro.
You've been listening to the MarkOutMania podcast, a Lake Area Media, LLC production. The views and opinions expressed in this show are those of Ryan Keith and Patrick Fry and are not affiliated with any wrestling promotion or company. Follow MarkOutMania on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. For all MarkOutMania links, news, and free podcasts, visit MarkOutMania.com. You've been marked.